to me, he can win in so many ways, whether that's as a run defender, whether that's in coverage, whether that's blitzing. He does everything at a high level.
All right, guys, let's talk about Devin Lloyd, University of Utah, 6'0", 237, 33-inch arms, ran a 4.66 verified at the 2022 NFL Combine. He has an 85.67 grade from us. This is a consensus first-round prospect. And Dre, I really enjoyed when you first did the presentation on him and you talked about the evolution of his game this year versus what he was in 2020 and before, and the new components that he brought into his game, the value on third down. I would love for you to kind of rehash that for our group here as we sit here and we put a final bow on Devin.
Sure. So during his what would be his junior season, I believe, he was more of a two-down guy. I think he was someone who's always played the run well. He was a thumper. He's a downhill guy, a very good reactive athlete. But to me, during the summer, I thought he was more of an early down guy. And during this past season, I thought he showed more that he can participate and be effective in the passing game. I thought he made a ton of spectacular plays, on third downs and in passing situations. And for me, it sold me on the fact that he can be a three-down guy. I think the 4-3 teams will love for him to play Sam, right? I think that he's someone who has some scheme versatility as well. So I do like the fact that he can play a few roles, but I do think he's probably a 4-3 Sam. He has some tight hips, in space and so forth, but I don't think it's going to hinder him from being a great athlete and making plays in the National Football League. So.
I think what would help this guy was talking about the film, and he showed the ability to rush off the edge. Right? I'm not saying he is an edge rusher, but it was pretty cool to see this guy slide down, into the 5-tech, whatever, and really get after it. And I think he has a pass rush move that I've never seen before, right? The kind of jump, swipe under. I don't know what it's called. Right?
Euro?
Yeah, but
Euro cross?
He does it, and it's effective, so you have to give him credit for it. So to Dre's point, I think that's one thing that really elevated his stock for me, because I'm going to be honest, I was a little nervous about him going that high as far as in the first round, because I seen some of those athletic limitations on film, but knowing that this is a guy that I possibly can kick down, he'll give me some third down value rushing the passer, and I could continue to develop him. It excited me a little bit more about his his future in the NFL.
It's funny because we're talking about his ability to be a factor on third down in terms of rushing the passer. How about in coverage?
Yeah,
his instincts in coverage are outstanding. If you watch the Pac-12 championship game against my Oregon Ducks, he's reading the quarterback's eyes, doing a pick six because his instincts. This kid is a special football player, and athletically, there's some lower body tightness in terms of his change of direction and things like that, but in terms of him being able to move laterally with good speed and good range and play sideline to sideline, he has all that. Then he has the length to play in the box. He can stack and shed. He's a tackle machine. And then again, as Keith was mentioning, the ability to blitz him off the edge, whether that's blitzing the A-gap off the edge, you name it, he has the length to get home, which is something that's really, really valuable and important when we're talking about a linebacker. And so, to me, he can win in so many ways, whether that's as a run defender, whether that's in coverage, whether that's blitzing. He does everything at a high level.
You think about, we're talking about the third down value and the growth that he showed. How about the leaping interception on the goal line that
beautiful.
Falls into the end zone for a touchdown?
Beautiful.
Against UCLA, they got him mugged up in the B-gap over top of the guard, and he gives him a little hezzy move with a chop inside and wins inside cross-face for a sack. That Euro chop that Keith was talking about against Oregon and George Moore at left tackle. Just really, really diverse skill set. And no, he didn't run a 4.5. Do I care? No. This is, for my money, one of the most instinctual players in this year's draft class as far as understanding what the opposing team's trying to do and anticipating and making sure that he's in position regardless of the fact that he runs a mid 4.6, which is not a bad time for a 237-pound linebacker.
No, and I think that his 40 isn't as important his 10, right? And his 10 was, I think, was in the 1.6s or 1.15. So I'm not concerned about his 40 speed. His 10 is more important than that.
Please do not let positional value make you underappreciate this football player. Devin Lloyd, University of Utah. I believe he's our consensus top linebacker in this year's 2022 NFL Draft.